One, okay, trying to create the best model as we go today. And you can see that the bridge, the structure alongside the bridge, the street, the marketplace. Quick question. When you're looking in the middle at the white structure, right, the temple itself, does something look to you a little bit weird? What?
It's not,
It seems as if someone built the temple crooked. Calm down. Calm down. They knew how to measure back then north, south, east, west accurately, and when they built the temple, they built it accordingly. The temple's not crooked. What is crooked? The Temple Mount. Herod, the perfectionist, builds a crooked Temple Mount? Yeah, because it doesn't matter how much of a megalomaniac you are, nature is always stronger than man. And I'll explain. Do you remember in the beginning of the tour, I told you that underneath the Temple Mount there's a mountain, natural mountain, Mount Moriah, yeah. Well, you're sitting right now, relative to this mountain, on top of another mountain, okay? Mount Zion. That's how we call it today. It's not the original name, okay? Because Zion is Mount Moriah. But Zion migrated. The Crusaders migrated. That's it. So you have two mountains, okay? And what do you have between two mountains? A valley. If King Herod would attempt building the Temple Mount on, let's say, the right angle, like the temple, in the middle, right? Parts of the western wall wouldn't be like this, but more like that, and parts of the wall would go into the valley and up the opposite mountain. And the same would go to the eastern wall on the other side. It would go down to the Kidron Valley and up Mount of Olives, which is not included in this model, okay? That's too much of a hassle. Herod changes the angle to fit the topography, the natural layout of the land. I hope that makes sense. Now look at the model. Begin. It's a new screen. I'm getting used to it myself. Okay, here we go. Let's go, and here we go. Okay. The orange lights represent what? The plaza outside. The 10% of the wall that's visible today out of the half a kilometer, okay? Yeah. And what you're gonna see in a moment, once the model comes back up, is not how things used to look like 2,000 years ago, but how things look like today. And that means most of the wall over here is going to be covered by Muslim houses, okay? You could see, by the way, the bedrock at the bottom. You see this brown area? Okay, at the bottom of the wall, this is the bedrock. And I'll tell you something about this in a moment. The model's coming back up. I'm going to start pressing some more buttons. Let's see if it works.
I hear something.
Yeah, it's coming back. Okay. 10 seconds. So here it is, coming back up. Now, I want to see if it works. Let's see. Okay, so that's the plaza area. Gates, and let's see. Okay, you ready for it? We're going to start peeling layers off and see what we did today. So now, underneath the houses, you can see the Western Wall tunnels. We started our tour in this room. We walked along the bridge, but then we went even deeper. Okay, we're going to peel another layer off. Let's see if it works. Those are Western Wall. I know, it's so cool, right? So basically, the two arches, remember the arches of the bridge, the base? So these two. Then we saw the room with the shower, and then the room with kind of like a pillar in the middle. But then we came back. We went over it, and we went to the room here, near the wall. We're now right over here in a big hall shaped like a plus. That means on the other side of this wall, you could see the Western Wall. We're standing opposite to the red lights. Everybody see the red lights? Anybody want to take a guess what these red lights represent in the wall? Something very special? The largest stone found in the Temple Mount. Let me tell you big how this one stone is. We're talking about 13.5 meters long, longer than a bus, 3.5 meters high, and 4.5 meters deep. In feet, it's about 40 feet long, 12 feet high, 14 feet deep. This one stone, limestone, weighs close to 600 tons. That is the weight of about 200 elephants. Indian elephants. If you want African elephants, half of that, because they're bigger. We'd say about 100 African elephants, one stone. What do you want to ask me now?
How did you get it here?
How? Everybody wants, how do you carve a stone from the quarry here? How do you move it? How do you lift it 4 floors above ground level? How do you place it accurately? And guess what? They didn't do it once or twice or even 4 big stones. 4 stones over here, one after. How? The answer is actually very simple. We don't know. I mean, there are theories. Each theory has its holes, we don't have a complete understanding, basically, okay? Still a mystery. Would you like to see the stone?
Yeah.
You would. Look at the glass wall, please.
Wow.
There you go. So at the bottom, you could see the smaller stones. On top, you see one big stone, which stretches to the right and to the left. The Romans understood the symbolic value that this stone had for the Jewish people, for the pride, morale, self-esteem. They want to break the Jews not only physically, but also mentally, psychologically, emotionally. And that's why they topple over all the stones on top of this one. When they get to this big stone, they start chipping into it. But eventually, it's kind of like the children's story, the big bad wolf, 3 little piggies and the big bad, they huff, they puff, they don't blow the house. Instead of them breaking the stone, in the end the stone broke them.
Yeah.
They gave up, leaving us this unbelievable 2,000-year-old testimony. Questions?
How long did this take